So what we're talking about here is the illusory nature of teodal, the illusory nature of reality, the deceptive nature of your own mind. Are you noticing these themes coming up over and over again as you're doing personal development, as you're growing, as you're learning about your own emotions, as you're learning about the counterintuitive nature of life, as you're learning about things going full circle? I've talked about all these things in the past. Go check out all those episodes that I have about all of those topics. You need to start to see that your own mind is the thing that's getting in the way of you being fully conscious of everything in the universe. And all of your problems fundamentally stem from this one problem of illusion and delusion and self-deception. And that's what you need to put your attention and energy towards. Not that other people are deluding you with conspiracy theories, not that some religious fundamentalists and fanatics are trying to recruit you into their cult, but that your own mind is tricking you constantly. Your own mind is shaping the way that you see everything because it's affecting how you interpret all of these perceptions, and it's radically changing what's right before your eyes without you even being aware of it. Your mind is creating various kinds of conceptual contexts which are helping you to make sense of the world around you, and that this is where the chief delusion is rooted in that, including your sense of self and your sense of evil and suffering in the world, right? It's all rooted in the various ways in which your mind tricks you, and the way that it tricks you, the reason it tricks you rather, is because that's necessary for you to be able to survive as yourself, as the illusion that you are. That's how teodal created you. God didn't just take some matter and assemble it together to create a human. That's not how God created you. God created you by tricking itself into believing that it's a human and that it's not God. Ta-da! You see? And the reason that's possible is because everything, all of this, the entire universe is just the mind of God. There is no physical substance to it. So God can imagine anything, including being a human, which is precisely where you find yourself right now. Moving on, quote, as an epistemological consequence of teodal self-disguising, when humans customarily gaze upon the world, what they see is teodal as a human, as a tree, or as a female. For example, they see teodal self-disguised, rather than teodal as teodal. As we shall see shortly below, wisdom is what enables humans to discern the sacred presence of teodal in its myriad disguises. End quote. This is critical for you to understand. Even though teodal is everything, including that tree, that man, that woman, and so forth, these are the disguises that teodal is wearing, which you are fooled by as an ordinary human being. And the point of spiritual practice, the point of consciousness, is to be able to penetrate through the veil of the illusion and to realize what the illusion or the disguise is really hiding behind the scenes, which is teodal as teodal. So this is the emptiness, the void, the formlessness, the Godhead. That is teodal as teodal proper. But teodal as disguised is a human, a tree, a car, and your body and your mind. You see? So the point of self-inquiry is for you to realize teodal in its pure form, in its empty form. To stop confusing it with its formed versions. Because you might wonder, like, Leo, what's the point of doing self-inquiry? If you say God is everywhere, then why should I look inside of myself to ask myself who I am or what I am when I can, like, look at a tree and just say that, well, the tree is God, the car is God, that woman is God. why do self-inquiry? Well, you're doing self-inquiry because you want to get to the root of the fact that you yourself are God, and you want to get to that pure realization of teodal as teodal, not as a disguise. So you're using the neti-neti method that we've talked about. You're using the neti-neti method to eliminate all the disguises of God in order to get to God in its most pure form, which is just pure empty consciousness or awareness or nothingness. You see? And wisdom is your ability to do that. And so the reason that many scientists and atheists and materialists are incapable of doing this, of course, theists are incapable of it as well in most cases, is because they lack wisdom. And this is why IQ is so irrelevant to living a good life. It doesn't matter how high your IQ is, because your IQ does not give you the wisdom that is required to see through the illusion or the self-disguise of teodal. And that is fundamentally what allows you to be a good human being and to live life well and to be happy and to avoid delusion and falsehood. And this explains why many very intelligent scientists and PhDs in Harvard, in Stanford, and Yale, and other places all around the world who run fancy laboratories, and they have fancy experiments and fancy technology and all of this, they have billions of dollars of research funding and all of that, and they have a bunch of Nobel Prizes, but they don't have enough wisdom to realize that all of the science and research that they're doing is happening within a dream, that they're doing it within the matrix. Because for that, what's required is not reason or logic or intelligence, because those are aspects of the dream, aspects of the delusion. You need wisdom to be able to break through it, to see through the disguise of teodal.